What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the party, the crypto party, the only party worth going to. And hey, I'm dedicated to making this more entertaining. That's why I'm wearing this vintage hat. I mean, most people will never go to that lengths to entertain, but I don't mind going the extra mile. Today, we are testing the VAMP strategy, as always. Anyone that wants to know how the strategy works, that's what the first two videos in the series are for. It's a lot to explain, but it's not beyond the ability to understand. So we went through all that. Now we're listening, you guessed it, to very, very unique podcasts. Let's put it that way. That's the entire gimmick of this incredibly entertaining and watchable show. So, we are about to listen to a podcast. It's telling a little story. A story about a little protagonist. That little protagonist has a little dream. It's a Chihuahua that is seeking an adventure in the world of music. And it's a touching and inspiring story. It's one that will have you sitting on the edge of your seats. Or maybe you're going to be walking around. I don't know what you're doing. Your posture doesn't particularly matter, at least in this context. So, without further ado, we are going to continue the exploration of the charts, the excavation of the profits, and the testing of the strategy while enjoying an absurd podcast. Yes, you heard it here first. We are about to hit play. 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
You know, we love to dig deep, especially when it comes to these graphic novel outlines. And today we've got The Strumming Chihuahua. I mean, how can you resist that title?
You have me at Chihuahua, honestly. But yeah, this outline is packed with details.
Yeah.
It's like we're getting a sneak peek behind the scenes of a major heartwarming production.
Right. And the story itself is universal. Anyone who's ever dared to dream big, no matter how small they might feel, is going to connect with this little guy, Santiago.
Our timid little Chihuahua with a passion for music that just won't quit. And the outline jumps right into the action in Chapter 1, The First Pluck. We're on Kali Luna.
Kali Luna. I love that name. Already paints a vivid picture in my mind, the humble neighborhood where Santiago lives with Olivia, his loving mother figure.
It's all about setting the stage right. And that opening line, they say every sunrise brings a new chance, but I never thought mine would come wrapped in 6 strings. It's like foreshadowing.
Gives me chills. I love that line. You just know something extraordinary is about to happen.
Yeah.
And then that moment when Santiago hears classical guitar music on the radio for the first time, oh man, that's the spark.
The seed is planted right. It makes you think about those seemingly random moments in our own lives that end up shaping our paths. It's like fate or something.
Or destiny. But it's not just the music itself. It's Olivia's reaction, the way she gives him that old guitar. That's pure unconditional support right there.
And her words, keep practicing, my little one. The notes will come to you if you listen carefully. She's giving him a philosophy for life, not just an instrument.
It reminds me of, well, maybe we'll circle back to that later. But yeah, it's powerful stuff. Then we have Lupita bursting onto the scene, Santiago's energetic best friend. I love her already.
Oh, Lupita, she's a force of nature. Pure sunshine and enthusiasm. Show me what you got. Let's hear that music. You can just feel her energy leaping off the page.
And that unwavering support is the kind of friendship that makes facing any challenge a little bit easier. But the outline doesn't sugarcoat things either. Santiago faces some real struggles early on.
Those tiny paws trying to grapple with the guitar, it's a reminder that passion isn't always a smooth ride. Sometimes it's about pushing through those initial hurdles.
It shows that even the smallest among us can face seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And yet that struggle makes his determination all the more powerful. Speaking of determination, Chapter 2, Finding a Mentor, introduces us to Maestro Rodriguez. Now, he's a character I have some thoughts about.
Oh, I know you do. A gruff, kind-hearted spaniel and experienced guitar teacher. A bark worse than his bite, the outline says. Knowing your love for spaniels, I bet you found that endearing.
Maybe a little. But there's a reason Maestro is such a renowned teacher. This isn't a pastime, young pup. It's a lifelong devotion. You can tell he's not messing around.
It's that tough love approach.
Right.
But it comes from a place of deep passion and respect for the music. He wants to push Santiago to be his best.
And Santiago rises to the occasion. He doesn't just meet the challenge, he embraces it. He practices, tirelessly absorbs everything Maestro throws at him.
It makes you wonder, right? If Santiago hadn't met Maestro Rodriguez, would he have found that same level of discipline and dedication? It's a real testament to the impact a good mentor can have.
No doubt. But the challenges don't stop there. Chapter 3, Trials and Tribulations, really digs into the nitty-gritty of Santiago's journey. We see the physical and emotional toll that intense practice takes.
And then we meet Carmen, a skilled Pomeranian guitarist who sees Santiago as competition. Good luck keeping up Chihuahua. You can practically hear the disdain in her voice.
Oh, Carmen, she's something else. It's that classic underdog versus the established talent scenario. Makes you wonder where Santiago's drive comes from. Is it all internal, or does Carmen fuel the fire?
It's probably a bit of both, right? And it raises an interesting point about how competition can sometimes be a catalyst for growth. But there's another layer to Santiago's resilience revealed in this chapter.
You're talking about his backstory, right? The loss of his parents at such a young age. That detail adds so much depth to his character, explains his quiet determination. It's like he's channeling all that grief into his music.
It's almost as if music becomes his way of coping, of finding meaning and purpose amidst the pain. And through it all, he's got Lupita by his side. Their friendship is a constant source of strength.
It really is heartwarming to see. And then just when you think things can't get any more intense, we enter Chapter 4, The Contest. Strings of Fire. Enter Don Paco, the charismatic bulldog behind this high-stakes competition.
Don Paco is an interesting character. He represents opportunity, a chance for Santiago to really showcase his talent. But the pressure is on with a scholarship to the National Music Academy at stake.
Not to mention, Carmen's presence just amps up the rivalry. And amidst all this pressure, we see another side of Santiago, his incredible dedication. The outline describes him practicing day and night, pushing himself to the limit.
It reminds me of that saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And Olivia's pride and support for Santiago really shine through in this chapter, no matter what the outcome might be. It's that unconditional love that makes their relationship so special.
You can tell she's his rock.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we can't talk about Strings of Fire without diving into the actual performance in Chapter 5, Stage Fright and Determination. Just reading the outline, I could feel the energy of the venue.
Oh, yeah. It's buzzing with anticipation. You can practically hear the murmur of the crowd, see the stage lights. Lupita's there backstage helping Santiago manage his nerves.
It's that authentic friendship shining through again. But then Carmen delivers her performance, and it's a showstopper.
Talk about raising the stakes. The pressure on Santiago must be immense. And the outline captures his initial nervousness as he takes the stage, followed by his gradual transformation as he loses himself in the music. It's a beautiful arc.
It really is. And that culminating moment when he finishes his piece to thunderous applause, you can tell this is a turning point in Santiago's journey.
It's a true underdog victory. And it's not just about winning, it's about the recognition from someone like Don Paco, who sees Santiago's raw talent and potential.
Exactly. And that leads us perfectly into Chapter 6, A New Beginning. Don Paco steps up and offers to connect Santiago with industry professionals. What a game changer.
It's like all his hard work is starting to pay off. But what I found really interesting is the shift we see in Carmen's attitude. From rival to potential collaborator, it shows that respect can emerge even in the most competitive environments.
And Maestro Rodriguez's reaction, that proud teacher moment, I bet it was priceless. It really showcases the ripple effect of good mentorship. And speaking of success, the outline doesn't shy away from showing Santiago's newfound fame, newspaper articles, local interviews, even radio spots.
But he remains grounded and grateful. It's a refreshing change from those stories where fame goes to someone's head. Santiago's humility is one of the most endearing things about him.
Agreed. But even with all the local fanfare, there's a bittersweet note when Santiago receives an invitation to perform on a national tour. Leaving Calle Luna even for a while must have been tough, especially saying goodbye to Olivia and Lupita.
It is, but you can tell from the outline that he carries their love and support with him wherever he goes. It's like they've given him the wings to fly and now he's ready to soar. But even as he embarks on this new chapter, you get the sense that his heart remains firmly rooted in Calle Luna.
And that sense of connection to his roots becomes even more apparent in Chapter 7, Return and the Birth of a School. It's a year later, and Santiago returns to Calle Luna, a bit older, a bit wiser, but still the same humble Chihuahua at heart.
It's like he's come full circle, but with so much more experience and knowledge to share. And the way the young pups of Calle Luna look up to him, eager to learn.
It's such a heartwarming image, right? It shows the power of inspiration and how one person's passion can ignite a fire in others. And then the idea to revitalize that old cultural center into a music school for small dogs, genius.
Escuela de la Guitarra Pequeña. It rolls right off the tongue. It's the perfect culmination of Santiago's journey. He's not just achieving his own dreams, he's creating opportunities for others to achieve theirs.
And the emphasis on it being a welcoming atmosphere open to everyone regardless of size or skill level.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes about Santiago's character.
It's a reminder that true success isn't just about personal gain, it's about using your platform to lift others up. But, before we get ahead of ourselves and dive into the school and the beautiful message of inclusivity it represents, I think it's time to take a step back. We've covered a lot of ground already.
You're right, we have. From those first tentative strums on that old guitar to the thunderous applause of Strings of Fire, and now Santiago's return to Calle Luna with a newfound purpose. His journey is nothing short of inspiring.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to unpack in terms of the deeper themes, the visual possibilities of this story as a graphic novel, and what it all means for us, the listeners, in our own lives.
Stay tuned, deep divers. We'll be right back after a short break to explore all that and more. And we're back, ready to delve deeper into the Stremming Chihuahua. We've journeyed through each chapter, seen Santiago grow and overcome obstacles, and now I think it's time to unpack some of those key takeaways. What really jumped out at you from all of this?
For me, one of the most powerful themes is the transformative power of music. From the very beginning, we see Santiago's almost instinctive connection to that classical guitar music on the radio.
It's like music awakened something within him.
Yeah.
It became this driving force, a way of expressing himself, connecting to something bigger.
Exactly. And that idea resonates with so many people, doesn't it? That music can touch us on such a deep emotional level that it can help us find our voice, our purpose even.
Absolutely. I mean, I know for me personally, there have been times when music was the only thing that made sense, the only thing that could soothe my soul.
It's like a universal language, one that goes beyond words, speaks directly to the heart. And in Santiago's case, it's not just about personal expression, it's about connection, community, and ultimately giving back.
You're talking about the school, right? The Escuela de la Guitarra Pequeña. It's like the ultimate embodiment of that transformative power of music.
Yeah.
Taking his passion and using it to create a space for others to find their own musical voices.
It's a beautiful testament to the cyclical nature of inspiration, wouldn't you say? We're inspired by others, we chase our passions, and then we get to inspire the next generation.
And it all comes back to those early chapters where we see Olivia and Maestro Rodriguez's impact on Santiago. The support they give him, the belief they have in him, it's like the foundation for everything that follows.
Speaking of support, that brings me to another takeaway that really resonated with me, the importance of mentorship. We see it in different forms throughout the story. Olivia represents that unconditional love and nurturing, that unwavering belief in Santiago's potential.
And then you've got Maestro Rodriguez with his more disciplined, almost demanding approach. This isn't a pastime young pup. It's a lifelong devotion. Tough love, but you can tell it comes from a place of deep respect for the craft.
It's that push and pull, that balance between encouragement and challenge that often helps us reach our full potential. And let's not forget Lupita. She might not be a music teacher, but her constant friendship, her unwavering belief in Santiago, that's a form of mentorship too.
Oh, absolutely. It's that reminder that we don't have to face challenges alone. Having someone in your corner cheering you on, believing in you, it makes all the difference. I mean, if you think about the people in your own life who have played that role.
It does. It makes you appreciate those who have lifted you up, encouraged you, and helped you through those rough patches. And it inspires you to be that for others.
Exactly. But even with all the support in the world, there will still be moments of doubt, struggle, the temptation to give up. And that's where Santiago's perseverance really shines through.
His story is a classic underdog tale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obstacle after obstacle, his small size, the difficulty of learning Carmen's dismissive attitude, the pressure of the competition, but he never gives up.
And it's not just blind determination. He's smart about it. He seeks guidance from Maestro Rodriguez. He practices relentlessly, pushes himself. It's a reminder that achieving our dreams often requires a combination of passion, dedication, and putting in the work.
And that hard work pays off in the most satisfying way when he takes the stage at Strings of Fire. The outline describes his nervousness, followed by this gradual transformation as he loses himself in the music. It's like he transcends all those doubts and fears and becomes one with the music.
It gives me chills just thinking about it. And the audience's reaction, the thunderous applause, the recognition from Don Paco, it's a culmination of all that hard work and dedication.
It's a reminder that even the smallest among us can achieve extraordinary things if we set our minds to it and embrace the challenges along the way.
Yeah.
But you know what else struck me about Santiago's journey? It's not just about individual achievement, it's about giving back, about using his success to empower others.
And that's where the Escuela de la Guitarra Pequeña comes in. It's the perfect embodiment of his journey, isn't it? He takes his passion, his talent, and creates this space where other small dogs can discover their own musical potential.
And the emphasis on inclusivity, welcoming everyone regardless of size or skill level, that's a powerful message. It's about creating a community where everyone feels supported, encouraged to pursue their passions.
It's like he's taking all the lessons he learned along the way, the importance of mentorship, the power of perseverance, the transformative nature of music, and paying it forward. It's a beautiful legacy.
It really is. But before we move on to the visual potential of this story as a graphic novel and what it all means for us, the listeners, I think it's important to acknowledge one more key takeaway.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Humility. Even with all the success, Santiago stays true to himself, never loses sight of who he is, where he came from.
Precisely. He remains grounded, grateful, always willing to learn. It's a reminder that success doesn't have to change us. It's about staying true to ourselves, our values, and using our achievements to make a positive impact on the world.
And that's a message that resonates no matter your size.
Absolutely. A universal truth. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the visual possibilities of this story as a graphic novel. Just reading the outline, I'm already picturing the vivid colors, the expressive characters.
Oh, I know. It's like a movie playing in my head. From the warm, earthy tones of Calle Luna to the vibrant energy of Strings of Fire, it's just begging to be brought to life visually.
And the characters, the outline does such a great job of describing their personalities through those little details, their body language, their expressions.
I can already picture those big, soulful Chihuahua eyes and the way their ears perk up or droop, depending on their mood, those little things that bring characters to life.
And think about visually representing Santiago's music. The swirling lines, the vibrant colors, musical notes dancing across the page.
It's like we're peeking into the artist's mind. And the contrast between light and shadow, using dimmer scenes for moments of doubt, and brighter highlights for scenes of triumph.
It's about creating visual depth, emotional resonance that pulls you in. It's a testament to the collaborative nature of graphic novels, the writer's words, and the artist's visuals coming together.
Speaking of magicalizing, I think it's time to talk about the magic this story holds for us, the listeners. Because The Strumming Chihuahua isn't just a cute story about a dog who learns to play. It's about dreams, perseverance, the transformative power of music.
It speaks to the human spirit, to our desire to chase our passions, overcome obstacles, and leave a positive mark.
And it reminds us that no matter how small we might feel, we all have the potential for extraordinary things.
Exactly. And that brings us to a very important question. What does the Strumming Chihuahua mean to you personally? What resonates with your own experiences, your dreams, your journey?
That's a big one, and one that deserves a deep dive. So stay tuned, dear listeners, as we explore the personal impact of this heartwarming tale in our final segment. We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into The Strumming Chihuahua. We've talked about the plot, the themes, the potential for amazing visuals, but now it's time to get personal.
The so what moment, right? How does this heartwarming story connect with us, the listeners out here in the real world?
Exactly. As I was reading this outline, I kept thinking about how much Santiago's journey mirrors so many of our own experiences.
You know, it's funny you should say that. I was having similar thoughts. It's like this story, while being about a Chihuahua and his love for music, really taps into some universal human experience.
Totally. Take those early chapters where Santiago's just starting out. He's got this rickety old guitar, more enthusiasm than skill, and tons of self-doubt.
It's like that feeling when you're at the beginning of anything new, right? Excited, but terrified of messing up, of not being good enough. That vulnerable stage where you need support the most.
And speaking of support, that's where Olivia comes in. Her unwavering belief in Santiago, her encouragement just giving him that old guitar, it's a powerful reminder of how much a little support can do.
It speaks to the importance of having those people in our lives who champion us, who see our potential, even when we can't. Those moments of encouragement, they can truly make a difference.
And then there's Maestro Rodriguez, who represents a different kind of support. Tough, demanding, but you can tell he really wants Santiago to succeed. Pushes him to be better, to strive for excellence, even when it's uncomfortable.
It's that classic mentorship dynamic, the one where you have someone who believes in you, maybe even more than you believe in yourself, and they're not afraid to push you.
And sometimes that's exactly what we need, someone to challenge us, hold us accountable, help us see our blind spots and overcome them.
Exactly. But it's not always easy. It can be frustrating, challenging, even discouraging at times. And that's where Santiago's perseverance really comes through.
He could have easily given up when things got tough. Listen to those doubts. But he didn't. He kept practicing, kept pushing, kept believing.
And that's a powerful message for all of us. The path to achieving our dreams, it's rarely a straight line. There will be bumps, detours, moments where we feel like giving up. But it's when we choose to keep going that we truly grow.
And it's not always about achieving some big external goal. Sometimes the biggest victories are those internal ones. Overcoming self-doubt, our fears, and proving to ourselves that we can do more than we thought possible.
You know, it makes me think about those times in my own life when I faced challenges, wanted to quit. And then I remember Santiago, this little Chihuahua with a big dream and even bigger paws for a guitar. And I think, if he can do it, I can too.
Right. He becomes this symbol of resilience, a reminder that size and circumstance don't define our potential. It's our heart, our dedication, our willingness to keep going that matters.
And it's not just about individual grit either. Santiago has a whole support system. Olivia Maestro, Rodriguez Lupita, they all play a vital role.
Which brings me to another key takeaway, the power of community. We need those people who believe in us, encourage us, pick us up when we fall.
Finding those tribes, those communities where we feel seen, heard, supported, whether it's family, friends, a mentor, or a group with similar passions, those connections are so valuable.
And it's not just about receiving support, it's about giving it too. Santiago doesn't just achieve his dreams and stop there. He comes back to Calle Luna and uses his success to create opportunities for others.
The Escuela de la Guitarra Pequeña is such a beautiful embodiment of that, taking what you've learned, what you've achieved, and using it to uplift others to inspire the next generation.
It's like a ripple effect. One act of kindness, one moment of inspiration can have far-reaching consequences. And that to me is one of the most powerful messages of the Strumming Chihuahua.
It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference no matter how small we might feel. It's about finding our own way to contribute to share our gifts and leave the world a little brighter.
And who knows? Maybe our own little Calle Luna is out there waiting. Maybe it's time to pick up that metaphorical guitar, face our fears, and start strumming.
Time to channel our inner Santiago.
Well said. To all our deep divers, thank you for joining us on this journey into the Strumming Chihuahua. May this heartwarming tale inspire you to embrace your dreams, persevere, and find your own way to make the world a more musical place.
Well, that was a fun little story, but we had a great trading session here. So we have two trades, top line. We have two trades that were successful here. This would be, I think we're going with the 2-to-1 ratio, so this would have been a 2% gain. And we had, I don't know if I just said I had two trades that were successful. We had two trades that we would take, that's what I meant. And this one was about a 0.5% loss, which we're on right now. This does match all the criteria. So that's pretty good. That's a 1.5% gain overall. So far, the strategy on this chart is looking pretty good. So there we go. That's a 2% gain if we're going 2-to-1. And that's a 0.75% gain. This is a 0.192% loss, and this is a 0.39% loss, 0.02% loss, 0.026% loss. These are the kind of numbers you want to see in a strategy. Then another big 2% gain, and then a 0.5% loss, which I think is the biggest one so far. Yeah, we haven't even had a full loss, which would be 1%. So it's looking pretty good so far. We had an interesting one. This was a yellow and a yellow. Here, let's color in the lines here. Yep, these would be greens, 5 out of 5. Then we're gonna have 2 oranges after that. All right, here we go. So this was a yellow and a yellow. Now it's green over here, but remember the on-balance volume 100 invalidates this on-balance volume, so it's effectively a yellow. So that's why we didn't take that trade, or wouldn't have taken that trade. This is a yellow on yellow, and it was a small loss. And yeah, there's nothing else worth talking about here. So anyway, so far the strategy's working good. And remember, we're doing this on 75 charts at the same time, which really brings out this principle of like an emergent logic. If you're using criteria that generally, probabilistically speaking, earns more than it loses, if you iterate that across a bunch of different assets, then it's kind of like how mortgage-backed securities sort of socialized the risk of mortgages. Like if you're only issuing one mortgage, if you're a bank that issues one mortgage, everything depends on that mortgage winning or losing. In the same way, if you're only taking one trade, everything would depend on that trade winning or losing. But if you're taking a bunch of trades and you're doing that across all these other cryptos that aren't super correlated or are correlated but only sort of, it has a way of compensating for itself. So that's what we're doing. So it's not just about one chart, but we're almost halfway through this year of data, so that's not bad. Yeah, maybe we'll just start doing this. We're going to put together the trades that we would have taken. So this is a yellow on green. We're going to say the 2%. Yeah. So this is a yellow on green. We are going to put it right there. And then this is a green on green. We're going to put it there. I'm trying to remember what this other stuff is. I don't know. I don't think this is something I'm doing anymore, so we're going to cancel that out. Basically, we're keeping track of the score here. Alright, this is a green on yellow. Yup. So, yep, green plus yellow. I don't know what color to make this. Let's make it like a blue-green. Yeah. Alright. We did that one. This is a green on yellow again. This is a green on green. And so is this one. And this is a green on green. So basically, if the prediction is accurate, we're going to see that green on greens are the most profitable, and then yellow on green or green on yellows are secondary to that. It's good to have a hypothesis before you actually start doing the testing. Green on green. Yeah. So here's an interesting metric in this cell. This is the average gain per trade. So that's a 0.67% gain per trade on average, which ain't bad at all. Alright, so let's do a total. Actually, we won't do that yet. Also, I have some obscure rules here in this line, or in that area, because there are strange things that happen that you're not sure how to decide what to do, and you just have to make some rules. And one of them was, if you're in a trade and it lasts a long time, I'm trying to find where it was. Right here. This was one of them. Actually, that wasn't one of them, but basically, I'm not going to try and find it. If the SAR switches direction, like if we took this and we were going along, if the SAR switches direction like this, we sell. That's an indication that the trade is probably not going to go anywhere, although it's a guess. And yeah, we did that today. There are a couple little things like that that don't happen very often, but it's just worth having a rule so you know what to do. You have to have rules ahead of time. You can't be making up rules on the spot. That doesn't work, especially when you're doing back testing. But anyway, thanks for watching. We're exploring the charts like the Starship Enterprise explores the galaxies. and it is pretty fun. And it's fun to have you guys along for the ride. Like I said, if you want to hear all the basic stuff of the strategy, we laid it all out in the first 2 episodes. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed this. We're going to have lots and lots of fun stories to listen to, if nothing else. So, thanks.